Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. I'm Horrorboy465, aka Name Murphy, the Explorer 4 here. Welcome back to some more reviews. And today, continue my reviews on the Halloween franchise with the 7th film in the Halloween franchise, and that is Halloween H20, 20 years later. Now, this film came out in 1998, 20 years after the first movie. And Halloween H20 is just a film that, personally, this is my opinion. So I mean, if you're a fan of it, that's totally cool. If you're a fan of Halloween H20, it has a lot of fans. If you're a fan of this film, that's totally awesome. That's cool. This is just my personal opinion on Halloween H20. This is my truthful, honest opinion on it. I'm not a fan of it. I think this movie is very overrated. Very overrated. I'm not a fan of it. It's just a movie that I feel is bad. It's not a good movie. I will say this though, it's not total crap. Halloween Resurrection is total crap. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is total crap. Halloween 6 is total crap. But I can't say that this movie is total crap. But I can say though that I'm just not a fan of Halloween H20. It's just not a movie I enjoy. It's a film that I feel is extremely overrated. I have no clue why this movie gets so much praise, why this movie is said to be better than Halloween 3 and 4, why this movie is put up there with the first movie, and I've seen reviews, I've heard reviews, I've read the reviews, I've heard why people love this movie, but I just don't get it. I think this movie does have some good things to it, but in my opinion, it's just not enough to save the movie. But first, I'll give the things that are good about the movie. First off, Jamie Lee Curtis, Josh Arnett, good jobs in the movie, did really good jobs. LL Cool J did a decent job in the movie, but the rest of the cast I thought sucked. The fact that it's a 20th anniversary film, I love that aspect because it takes place 20 years after Halloween 2. It continues the story. Jamie Lee Curtis returns to the franchise. I like the idea of taking place of it being a 20th anniversary film. I love that idea. It's pretty good. It's a pretty cool idea. Also, the third act of the movie, the finale, it was great. I will give the movie that. It has a great finale. Trying to think of what else. I think it was a smart decision to make this a direct sequel to Halloween 2 because although it is a shame though because Halloween 4 unfortunately Halloween 5 was a sequel to Halloween 4 and then Halloween 5 for the Thorn plot line and then of course Halloween 6 was a sequel to Halloween 5 and it having the Thorn plot line, so thus Halloween 4 also this took place before Halloween 4, or it takes place in this movie's, universe. Halloween 4 and 5 and 6 don't exist, but this takes place right after Halloween, right 20 years after Halloween 2. And I think it was a smart decision to do that because with the way the Thorn plotline was going, I'm not a fan of that plotline. I don't like the way that it was going. I'm just not a fan of the idea. The idea of this cult controlling Michael Myers and this guy dressed in all black, him being this cult, and they all control Michael Myers and stuff like that, and the whole Thorn cult. Just did not like the idea. I'm not a fan of the Thorn plotline. So I think it was a smart decision to take place after Halloween 2, because the Thorn storyline was not going in a good direction. So yeah, you got that as well. So there are good things to it. The problems, though, I'm not a fan of the way the movie looks, the Scream look, the Scream feel. I'm not a fan of the style of the film. The way that it's shot, the way that it looks, even the way this DVD cover looks. It looks like a Scream movie. The cast lining up in the background, a mask right there. It looks like a Scream movie. And the whole movie, the way that it's shot, the score, the mood, the atmosphere, it feels like a Scream movie, and I don't think it fits a Scream film. And what's funny is that also in this movie, a character in the film is actually watching Scream 2, I believe, on television. She's watching Scream 2. But I just didn't think it had. I just didn't like the way that it looked, the way that she was shot, the mood, the atmosphere was, and it just had this Scream feel to it that I just didn't. I didn't think that it matched the movie. I thought that it was just. It doesn't fit the movie. The atmosphere, the Scream look, the Scream mood, the feel does not match the movie. Besides Josh Arnett and Jamie Lee Curtis, Ella Kutcher did a decent job. But besides Jamie Lee Curtis and Josh Arnett, they did good jobs, really good jobs in the movie. The rest of the cast I didn't care for. I didn't care for Adam Arkin. I didn't care for Josh Arnett's girlfriend, Michelle Williams. I didn't care for Josh Arnett's friends either. So the rest of the cast didn't do a good job. To me, this movie is boring. It's very slow paced. The first two acts are extremely slow paced, and I thought majority of the movie was boring. Majority of the movie has this awful score to it. I'm not a fan of the score that the movie has. Now, there's one song in the movie that I liked, and that was the original version of a Halloween theme that plays at the end of the movie. The rest of this movie's score, in my opinion, sucked, because it's all done with like violins and stuff like that, and the movie opens up with a Halloween theme done with fancy violins and stuff like that. Just did not match the movie. I'm just not a fan of the way the score sounded in this movie. It's boring. The majority of the cast sucks. It's slow paced. Didn't enjoy the score. Now, what's crazy is that Steve Miner directed this movie, and Steve Miner has done better than this. I think he's done worse than this too. He did worse. Definitely, he's done worse because he did Day of the Dead, the remake, which I'm not a fan of at all. But he's done better than this. He's done Friday the 13th Part 2, Friday the 13th Part 3, Lake Placid. Those are all films I think are better than Halloween H20. Now, Day of the Dead, the remake, is much worse than this movie. But still, it's, in my opinion, disappointing because you got Jamie Lee Curtis, the 20th anniversary film, and in my opinion, it's boring, it's dull. The mask in the movie, it shapeshifts. I guess because of the whole copyright issue where they had to change the mask because due to copyright issues, stuff like that. But through the whole movie, the mask changes a lot. There'd be one mask, like this mask right here during that scene, which looks awful. One mask which has like poofy hair. The mask at the beginning of the movie. A CGI mask. So the mask like shapeshifts the whole film, and it looks bad. A lot of the different looks the mask has in the movie, they're bad. But the guy who played Michael Myers didn't care for the way he played Michael Myers. Brought nothing new to the character. Just didn't care for the guy who played Michael Myers. The story, basically at the beginning of the movie, you've got the nurse from Halloween 1 and 2. Of course, she's in Halloween 1 during that scene, that classic scene in Halloween 1, where Michael Myers attacks the car, smacks the window, the nurse in that scene. She'd also be in Halloween 2. She also helps Dr. Loomis in that movie try to find out where Laurie Strode is. She makes a return in this movie. Did an okay job. And to begin the movie, Dr. Loomis and that character, I guess, they got together, and Dr. Loomis's office is in her house, and she goes in. Michael Myers has went to the office. There's papers everywhere. Michael Myers has found out that Jamie Lee Curtis has faked her death, and that it was a car accident, it was a car crash, and it was all faked. Her death, she faked her death, and changed her name to avoid any more attacks from Michael Myers. And pretty much Michael Myers kills her, kills a couple other characters, steals her car, and is on his way to this school where Jamie Lee Curtis is having nightmares. She sees during the day, she sees like Michael Myers being like a window, a reflection of a window behind her. She'll turn around, nobody will be there. She'll see Michael Myers walking, he'll disappear. She's really struggling with after Halloween 2. She wakes up screaming. She's having really bad nightmares. And Josh Arnett is her son, and he's going to school. She's teaching at the school, and there's basically a field trip coming up. And you also got the storyline where Jamie Lee Curtis has his love interest, Adam Arkin. Like I said, I didn't care for the character, didn't care for the actor. He didn't do a good job. The acting was boring. The character was boring. Didn't care for the character. But they're pretty much there's pretty much that sort of storyline where they're in love. And there's a school field trip coming up, and Josh Arnett and his friends and his girlfriend end up coming up with this plan to stay after school. And this pretty much all the school leaves to go on this field trip. Michael Myers is on his way there. Like the first act of the movie, like the first 30 minutes of the movie is like Michael Myers just getting into school. And then about, I don't know, maybe when he gets there, you have some chase scenes and stuff like that. And then the last part of the movie is when Jamie Lee Curtis rises up. She gets her son and his girlfriend out of there. And she rises up and fights Michael Myers. Like the first, act of the film, like the first 20 minutes of the movie, 30 minutes of the movie, it's just Michael Myers driving to the school. And there's not much to it. I mean, I guess it's to develop characters and to build suspense and stuff like that. But another problem, there's no suspense to the movie. It's not eerie. It's not creepy. It's not scary. So if there is a build up there, it, for me at least, didn't work. Also, the character development, I really didn't care for any of the characters besides Jamie Lee Curtis and Josh Arnett. Now, the character development on those two characters was good. Jamie Lee Curtis is really struggling to get past, what happened, trying to get past when Michael Myers attacked her and Michael Myers tried to kill her. She's trying to get past that, trying to get her life back together. Josh Arnett is all struggling as well, trying to help his mom out, trying to get her past this, this nightmare. And so the character development with those two characters was decent. The rest of the characters, they tried to develop them a little bit here and there. Just didn't care for it. Just honestly, boring performances, boring characters, and just in general, just didn't care for the rest of the cast. Besides, I mean, Ella Kuja did a decent job, but besides Josh Arnett and Jamie Lee Curtis, I didn't care for the rest of the cast. So there is a little bit of build up there, but I didn't care for it. Michael Myers pretty much gets to the school, starts chasing them a little bit, kills the Adam Arkin character, kills Josh Arnett and his girlfriend's friends, and chases Jamie Lee Curtis around, and chases Jamie Lee Curtis and Josh Arnett and his girlfriend around. Jamie Lee Curtis gets Josh Arnett and his girlfriend out of there. Jamie Lee Curtis gets like a fire axe, and grabs it, and Michael goes into the school. I would say this though, it does have some decent shots. The shot of the hallway and the drapes and the lightning and the thunder and the rain. All right, pretty decent. Atmospheric scene. I like the idea of Michael when she walks in with the axe. Michael Myers sort of lowers down. He falls down, and then she comes back and swings and hits him right here with the axe. She takes like 2 kitchen knives and stabs him, and then he falls off, and then you think he's dead. And she even knows he's not dead, so she goes to where the ambulance is, where Michael Myers' body's in. It's a really good finale where she drives it, and she's driving this ambulance, and she gets out of there. Michael Myers is in the back trying to attack her. She stomps on her brake. Michael Myers flies to the windshield. She's like waiting for him to get up. She's like, get up, get up. Michael Myers like sits up, she hits him, and that's why I don't get how Halloween Resurrection, the person that she hit was a regular human, but yet I don't know. It just first of all, why did he keep the mask on? Second of all, how did he survive all of that? Third of all, why did he try to attack Jamie Lee Curtis when he was in the truck? When he was in the back of the ambulance. But that's for my review on Halloween Resurrection. This movie right here is complete garbage. I hate Halloween Resurrection, awful film. But that's for my rant on that movie. But in this movie, it's really good finale because she hits him, he falls down the hill. She ends up flipping the ambulance, and it lands because he lands on a tree limb. The ambulance goes up, hits him. Michael Myers is still alive. He's going like this. He's like grabbing the mask, and he sticks his hand out. Jamie Lee Curtis, she's like, trying to feel sorry for him. Takes the axe and chops his head off. The original version of the Halloween theme kicks in. Michael Myers' head like falls into frame. The movie ends. That's what I mean. The finale is great. You have some decent scenes in there. The scene where Michael Myers is trying to kill Jamie Lee Curtis, she hides beneath these tables. He's going through flipping up these tables. She goes like a flagpole and stabs him right here. The scene where Michael Myers goes to stab Jamie Lee Curtis, she grabs this like cabinet, this like drawer thing. He stabs right through it, and it goes like boom right next to her face. The chase scenes, I mean, they were decent. Where they run, Michael Myers is chasing. They get inside the school. Jamie Lee Curtis closes the door, and this scene right here where she looks back up after she locks the door, and boom, Michael Myers is right there. Really good face off right there. Jamie Lee Curtis is just like shocked to see Michael Myers still alive, and Michael Myers sort of goes like, and really good shot, really good scene. The scene where Michael Myers pops out of nowhere, stabs Josh Arnett. Of course, they fight back a little bit. They start running a little bit more. I like how at the end of the movie, Jamie Lee Curtis, she tells her son and his girlfriend to drive off. She gets the axe, walks that great shot where she's walking up to the school and she goes, "Michael!" And, she goes in and, faces her fears. I really enjoyed that part as well. That was an awesome scene. That's what I mean. The third act is great. The third act is really well done. But, the rest of the movie, the first act, the first, half of the film is Michael Myers kills a couple characters in the beginning, kills the nurse character, drives and is on his way to the school. You have a little bit of character build up, and then Michael Myers finally gets there, and then that's when chase scene starts happening, and some death scenes. And the death scenes, there really aren't that great. Makeup effects aren't even that great. Although in one death scene the makeup effects were decent, but for the majority the makeup effects they weren't much. At the beginning of the movie, a guy, you don't see it off screen, but a guy has like an ice skate right here in the face. Another guy gets stabbed in the back and he falls down. Michael Myers pops out. The nurse, she gets her throat slit. Adam Arkin's character gets like a copy death scene from Halloween 2 where Michael Myers stabs the Adam Arkin character, picks him up with a knife, and sort of like Halloween 2. But I thought it was done better in Halloween 2. Other guy gets I think his throat slit. Josh Arnett's friend, he gets his throat slit. Then his girlfriend, Josh Arnett's friend's girlfriend, gets her leg broken. Really good, really decent effect. I mean, it was pretty decent. I mean, where the leg is broken because trying to get into this, this sort of elevator thing, goes up. Michael Myers cuts the rope so the elevator falls down onto her leg and breaks her leg. And then Michael Myers comes in and stabs her. like 3 or 4 times. And there's not really any more death scenes. I don't think there's any more death scenes. But the death scenes in this movie, they were not that good. Negative effects were not that. Not much of the negative effects. Maybe that one scene with some decent, practical effects. But for the majority, the practical effects in the movie, they aren't much. Death scenes aren't much. The mask, I swear, the mask, like I said, it shape shifts through the whole film. One mask will have poofy hair. One mask, like during this scene, mask right there. Try to get it right there. Mask in that scene looked awful. The beginning of the movie's mask, and then a very bad CGI mask. Now I guess they couldn't get a real mask in there, so they did a CGI mask, but it looks awful. It really does. It looks completely awful. Very crappy CGI effect right there. CGI mask looks completely fake, and it's awful. It really looks bad. But the movie, in my opinion, it's overrated because it's boring. The first half of the film is very boring. The best part of the movie is the third act and the ending. But still, they're not. It doesn't save the movie. I don't like the way the movie looks. It has a Scream feel to it. I don't think it matched the movie. Now the Scream feel, I thought it matched Urban Legend. I thought it matched I Know What You Did Last Summer, but it does not fit this movie. Like I said, the acting is bad. Besides Josh Hartnett and Jamie Lee Curtis, the rest of the acting I thought was bad. There's no suspense. There's no really good acting besides Jamie Lee Curtis and Josh Hartnett. And they try to build up a couple more characters, but there's not really any good build up besides Jamie Lee Curtis and Josh Hartnett. The rest of the characters, I didn't care for the build up. And like I said, it's just, in my opinion, a disappointing movie because it's a 20th anniversary film. You have Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie facing her fears, and it's an ending to the series. That's why I don't get what Halloween Resurrection. I threw it over there. That's why I don't get why Halloween Resurrection. It was a guy in his voice box or whatever was broken, and crushed his larynx and stuff. I didn't care for that because it doesn't make sense. Because in this movie, towards the end of the movie, Michael Myers attacks Jamie Lee Curtis. He gets thrown through the windshield. He gets hit down a road or down a hill, and a freaking ambulance lands on him. So that's why I don't get that in Halloween Resurrection. I don't get Michael Myers is still alive. So it was an ending to the franchise, but in my opinion, it's boring. In my opinion, it's overrated. I didn't care for the movie. Just in my opinion, very overrated film. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching my rant on Halloween H20. If you guys are fans of this movie, that's totally fine. There's a lot of fans of this film. Just personally, I'm not a fan of this movie. I think it's overrated. It's boring. And I just don't understand all the hype. I don't understand all the praise the movie gets. And it's being up there with Halloween 1. And it being said to be better than Halloween 3 and 4. I just don't understand that. Halloween 3 and 4 had better makeup effects and it had better, and Halloween 3 and 4 had better makeup effects. They had better moods, they had better atmospheres, they had better scores, they had better characters. So, I don't know. I don't understand this movie gets said to be one of the best ones. In my opinion, it's a bad movie. It's not total garbage. There are some good things to it. But overall, I think the Halloween H20, it's overrated, it's boring, and I don't get all the praise. I don't get it. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my rant on Halloween H20. So yeah, thanks for watching my review on Halloween H20, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.